In 2019, the world erupted, at least on the anime manga side of things. The anime manga world erupted and people were shook to their core because in 2019, Demon Slayer overthrew One Piece for the best-selling manga of the year, and One Piece had maintained that spot for 11 years prior. Demon Slayer had 12 million copies that year, and then One Piece had 10 million copies that same year. The first signs of a new era were upon us. Then in 2020, absolutely groundbreaking historic numbers, the likes of which the manga industry has never seen. Even back in the One Piece heyday, when it was getting 30+ million copies a year because of Marineford War, in 2020, Demon Slayer had a historic 82 million copies sold in a single year. Demon Slayer was literally changing the anime and manga landscape as we knew it. And then One Piece had dropped down to third because Kingdom, the most popular seinen series in Japan by volume sold, was beating out One Piece with 8 million copies sold. And One Piece saw itself down to the 7 million volume mark for that year of 2020. And what we were also noticing in 2020 was the rise of a new competitor, Jujutsu Kaisen, which in the following year, 2021, became the #1 best-selling manga in Japan by volume at 30 million copies sold, and Demon Slayer holding on to #2 at 29 million copies sold. A very close race between Demon Slayer and JJK. And then out of nowhere, on the heels of those two series, Tokyo Revengers, where after season 1 of Tokyo Revengers, it saw itself with almost 25 million volume copies sold. Then at the end of Attack on Titan, seeing Attack on Titan going to the top 4, and then finally Macadamia in the top 5 for 2021 at 7 million copies sold. For the first time in potentially forever, One Piece saw itself out of the top 5 best-selling manga in Japan for the year. And on its heels were two series that we knew were going to get major increases, Chainsaw Man and Spy X Family, for the coming year. And so going into 2022, a lot of the assumption was that One Piece would slowly sort of see this steady decline, and it would be very hard pressed for One Piece to find itself back in the top 5 best-selling manga. However, 2022 has a lot of surprises for the Oricon best-selling manga of the year. So let's get right into it. JJK is #1 this year, holding on to that spot at 12.2 million copies sold. #2 is Tokyo Revengers, taking the #2 spot this year at 11 million copies sold. #3 is Spy X Family at 10.6 million copies sold. #4 is One Piece at 10.3 million copies sold. #5 is My Hero Academia at 5.3 million copies sold. #6 is Kingdom at 3.8 million copies sold. #7 is Blue Lock at 3.5 million copies sold. #8 is Chainsaw Man at 3.4 million copies sold. #9 is Do Not Say Mystery at 3.1 million copies sold. And #10, breaking the top 10, is Kaiju #8 at 3.1 million copies sold. Just shy of 1,000 copies under Do Not Say Mystery. So, what is the biggest takeaway? The biggest takeaway from this year's Oricon sales off the rip? There is no Demon Slayer. Wow! Yo!
Crazy.
I had an inkling that Demon Slayer would drop down significantly because of the simple fact that Demon Slayer manga is over. Demon Slayer, you could argue, came out the right time in 2019 and 2020 because, of course, at that point in time, we were going headfirst into a global pandemic. And Demon Slayer, on the backs of Ufotable and, of course, tax evasion, their anime popped off like no other. The Mugen Train movie is quite literally the best-selling Japanese film of all time. Demon Slayer 2019, 2020, 2021 was literally a rocket ship to the moon. It was non-stop just getting, can you get much higher? In came 2022. Put the brakes on. Screeching halt. Demon Slayer did start the Entertainment District arc at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So Demon Slayer did have new material at the beginning of this year, but it was nowhere near enough to offset the simple fact that Demon Slayer manga is done. Demon Slayer is actually number 11 at 2.8 million copies sold. That is, I would say, without a doubt, shocking. And you probably did notice that this year, in terms of most of the manga, the sales have been dropping steadily over the course of time. Part of the reason why is because the pandemic is over, so more folks are now going out. But then also, from an economic standpoint, you can argue that the global economy is, well, actually, no, it is a lot less stimulated compared to the previous years, since most governments around the world have stopped giving out free money. And then Japan this year, as far as I understand, has seen more economic instability compared to other countries, considering how the yen has lost a lot of its value. It's been going straight down to free fall. However, this did not stop Spy X Family and One Piece from seeing major rises from last year. Spy X Family in 2021 was at 4.9 million copies sold, and One Piece was at 7 million copies sold. This year, Spy X Family and One Piece are both at 10 million copies sold. Of course, Spy X Family anime, huge hit. It's a really good show, really good anime, and I have been doing live reactions to the anime on my Patreon, of course. And One Piece, yeah! One Piece this year had what? Film Red. The One Piece Film Red movie spiked the interest of the story in major ways and in massive waves. And of course, even though Oda took a 1-month break, it's on the heels of the longest arc in One Piece, Wano Country, coming to an end. And this for sure would help increase sales. Like, for example, how One Piece is number 4 in the total volume sales for the year, but it's also number 1 in the new volume sales for this year of 2022. Currently, Film Red is in the top 10 highest grossing Japanese films of all time. I believe it's on pace to surpass, or has already surpassed, Howl's Moving Castle and Princess Mononoke. And at one point in time during my live streams, I was informed that One Piece Film Red at that point in time was in the top 6 best-selling films globally. Number 3 in the UK at the point in time, and number 1 in Saudi Arabia, Italy, Greece, and Spain. And finally, in North America, received a cinema score of an A, which is really rare for anime to actually get a score that high in North America. So Film Red has been doing outstanding across the board, without a doubt. And with how successful the Spy X Family was, just seeing how everywhere you went, you couldn't escape Anya memes at the beginning of the year. And even still, Spy X Family is seeing a lot of success. Yes, it makes a lot of sense that these two series would get boost compared to the previous year. Though I will say this, I'm surprised that the Tokyo Revengers manga isn't higher than JJK this year, because Tokyo Revengers ended this year, which would normally mean that fans would go to like the local bookstore, like it's Costco, and buy the entire series in bulk. Now, apparently, folks are saying it's ass. I've not read it. I'm only an anime watcher for Tokyo Revengers. But a lot of folks on Twitter were universally saying that Tokyo Revengers it's probably overblown. I want to say Cat's overblowing it. They're saying that it is the worst ending of any manga in recent memory. Worse than Promised Neverland, Demon Slayer, even Attack on Titan. And that thing has like 3 endings? So, I don't know. I'm just kind of surprised that it's that low. But then next year, I think it will go higher, because we do have a confirmed season 2 coming out for Tokyo Revengers. But the same thing also goes for JJK. And MAPPA is going to treat JJK very, very well. As far as I understand, for JJK, one of the upcoming next arcs is going to be like the best arc in the series. Allegedly. I don't know. I did my top 15 favorite shonen stream on Twitch and on my Cole Requiem channel, and a lot of cats, my tier 3, were putting the Shibuya arc that high. Like their top 15 favorites of all time in shonen. So if this arc is going to be that good, and we get to it next season, or I guess maybe the season after next season, then there could be a chance here where JJK, for the foreseeable future, maintains its number 1 spot in the volume sales. And then what's also in the top 5 which might be to the chagrin of some people, is My Hero Academia, which right now, of course, has a season 6, which, as far as I can tell, is good. Like, this is a good season 6, but whoo, the online discourse. It's all over the place. Cats hate it or cats dig it. I guess it depends on if you actually read the manga or not. I have not read the manga in a very long time for MHA. When it comes to the art style and like the stylistic choices of it, I have no real stance on it, honest to God. However, when it comes to just simple story writing, this arc in My Hero right now, I think is one of the best arcs in My Hero, if not the best arc in My Hero. Like, this arc has been damn good. And of course, gotta give big ups to Kingdom, which maintains a spot consistently in the top 10. Kingdom is one of my favorite seasons of all time, without a damn doubt. It has, in my personal opinion, the best fight I've ever read in manga. Full stop. And mind you, I have read Saitama versus Goro. Oh, that was phenomenal. But nonetheless, Kingdom does phenomenally well. The anime currently is not all that, but it is much better now compared to the first 2 seasons, which were bleh, like bleh, really bad stuff in terms of animation quality. And then the new seasons, they keep on piling on. Season 3, Season 4, Season 5 is upcoming, I think in 2024. Then there's going to be the Kingdom live action movie number 2, and the first film did do very well in the box office, for damn sure in Japan. Matter of fact, even, I have it right here. Booyah, booyah, baby, Kingdom. All right, yo, Kingdom is the real deal. If you haven't read Kingdom, read Kingdom. It's I promise you, you will be hard pressed to find an epic as Kingdom. Kingdom is outstanding work. Blue Lock, where the anime just started this season, but it's already in the top 10. So Blue Lock may very well be the new Haikyuu, the sports manga that kind of blows the other sports manga out of the water, especially after what happened with the World Cup, where the Japanese team beat the German team, and allegedly they were like Blue Lock uniforms. So Blue Lock anime has been relatively fun, without a doubt. There is World Cup incentives for Blue Lock, so I can definitely see Blue Lock's success continuing to push it forward to even higher heights next year. However, Chainsaw Man went down. What's up with that? Chainsaw Man last year was at 5.2 million copies sold, right behind One Piece at number 7. This year, Chainsaw Man is number 8, with almost 2 million copies of the manga sold less this year, and the anime is out. That is my guess here is that the number of volumes that came out for Chainsaw Man was really minuscule. 2 volumes now is it. Because I do know that Chainsaw Man has gone from a part 1 to part 2, and I believe that part 1 is separate from part 2. I'm not too sure. But to be fair, again, Chainsaw Man has come out at the end of this year, 2022. Moving forward in 2023, there's a good chance where it's also going to see meteoric rise. And then finally, what caught my attention too was Kaiju number 8. This does have a upcoming anime, and it's already in the top 10 at 3.1 million copies sold. So this is a very promising sign, because when the anime does come out and it's in full swing, there's a good chance that it also start to break like 7 million, 8 million, 9 million copies sold. Though key thing here, as long as the anime is good, like really good quality stuff. Chainsaw Man anime is very good quality in terms of the animation. I mean, it's MAPPA. And that's why even though right now it lost 2 million copies from the previous year, I don't think it's going to happen in the next year, 2023. So as long as Kaiju 8's anime comes out and it's a very high quality anime, irrespective of character design or the story or world building, as long as the animation is top notch, cats will be on board. Therefore, cats will buy the volumes. It is what it is. So this year, a very interesting top 10 yearly Oricon sales. One Piece, I do think will maintain form. Spy X Family, I actually do see dropping. Tokyo Avengers, if the ending is really that bad, like really that bad, then it actually could drop out of the top 10. And JJK, I feel like she maintained its spot for number 1. I do see Blue Lock and Chainsaw Man getting much higher. And My Hero with season 6 stuff could also see a volume rise to around, let's say, like 7 million. So on that note, let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. If you enjoyed my video, make sure to rate or thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click on that bell to join the notification squad. Peace out.